Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some, not Raptors news necessarily, not any games to be broken down. There is some Drake drama that we'll get into at the end of this podcast, but you saw the title. Drake, yes, Drake, Champagne Papi. He ended up posting a picture from the Raptors Digest, and it's kind of a funny story, so I'll break into this first, kind of just how this day has went. I'm super hyped getting into this pod. It might be a little bit different from regular podcasts, probably a little bit shorter than what we usually put out, but, I said this rarely happens to anyone, so I said I had to make a video on it, but last night, we'll start from the beginning. Last night, I'm uploading the video for the last night's reaction, Game 4 reaction. If you haven't saw that, definitely check that out. So the usual routine is to go through Raptors Instagram, Google Images, Getty Images, all that sort of stuff. See the best header I can find for the game, and I found one of Kyle Lowry. It looked pretty good, but as I was scrolling through, I saw this picture of Fred VanVleet and Drake, and I thought it was pretty funny because, I immediately thought they looked exactly alike, but I kind of left it. I kind of scrolled past it as, Kyle Lowry and Kawhi really get the clicks, it seems like, on YouTube, so they're usually in the headers for our videos. I'm going to keep it transparent with you guys, so I threw Kyle Lowry up in the header, and yeah, so I uploaded the video as usual, and as I was writing the title for the podcasting website and all that, there's some technical stuff. I ended up backing out of the upload, so I was like, oh, okay, it's going to take another 20-30 minutes to upload this podcast. That sucks, and it took some extra time, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a meme while I'm waiting for this to upload. And I remember I saw the picture. I went back to the picture I saw earlier. I put together Drake and Fred VanVleet Photoshop, and I throw it up on the screen here. I thought it was pretty funny. Threw it to our Instagram. So if you're not following the Instagram, if you're not following the Raptors Digest Instagram, we're always plugging it at the end of the podcast, so I'm sure a lot of people don't end up hearing it. We put out pretty long podcasts, long reactions, so it's completely fair, but definitely check it out if you're not currently followed to it. So anyways, I posted this meme to Instagram, and it got a lot more likes than most of our usual posts. But I wake up this next morning, and one of my friends, Danny Loveless, shout out to Danny, he sends over that Fred VanVleet reposted. I was like, oh, that's the first time an NBA player has ever acknowledged, one of our creations, whether it be a podcast, a tweet, or anything. If they're actually listening, that's pretty cool. But yeah, nothing's ever been publicly promoted or posted by a Raptors player that I'm aware of. And, so the fact that Fred VanVleet put it on a story, I was pretty hyped. We didn't watermark it or anything. So it was just a funny meme. I thought it was cool. Fred posted. Shout out to Fred VanVleet. People that listen to the podcast know I'm a huge fan of Fred VanVleet. So it's awesome that he actually, saw something I made. So I was pretty hyped for most of the day, and then the picture kind of got posted to Twitter everywhere, got posted to Reddit, so I was pretty hyped. I was pretty excited to see the picture go everywhere. I know a lot of the Photoshops I make of Toronto Raptors players always get picked up by larger news sites and all that, and the biggest picture I ever made was when DeMar DeRozan got traded. I made a kind of cool Photoshop of him in the city. I'll throw that up on the screen now. But yeah, nothing's really went super viral, nothing's really been posted everywhere that I've ever made, but then a couple hours ago, I get a text from Riker. It's just a text in all caps. It's like, it's just, I was kind of confused. I didn't really know what happened. And he sends me a screenshot of Drake, Champagne Papi. He ended up posting the picture in one of his series. Fred posted on his story, Champagne Papi, Drake himself with his 57 million followers. He posted it on his actual full-out Instagram. And I'm going to keep it real. I lost. I was pretty excited. I'm a huge fan of Drake. And, just the fact that something you created has gone, reaches a lot of people like that, reaches someone famous that you look up to. It's super cool. It's a reward. It's a feeling of just, because, people that see it aren't going to know that, Ben Rogers edited the photo or something like that. But it's cool to see something you made just get reached by that many people. When people are commenting, they think it's funny. I'm not gassing myself up or anything. Like, it's a poorly edited meme. It's just two things slapped together with a little divider in it. But, I'm just hyped. I wanted to share that story with you. I know it's kind of not a usual Raptors Digest video, and there's a lot of stuff with Drake happening in the news as well today, so I thought it was a good opportunity to tell that story and also break down some news, because obviously you come to the Raptors Digest for Raptors news. So let me know in the comment section below, because Riker and I are always talking about kind of making different style videos. I know we have a couple things, or at least I have a couple things planned in the next couple weeks, because I'll be completely done school for the summer. So let me know if there's any creative, different videos you'd like us to do. But now into the Drake news, because there's not, it wouldn't make its own video, but there's certainly some stuff to talk about with Drake, before going into Game 5. But the Bucks fans are shook. The Bucks organization is shook about Drake being on the sideline. I'm a bit confused as to what their argument is. It started, Coach Bud, he said in the post-game presser that, fans on the sideline need to be contained and they shouldn't be able to go all over the court and move around. I think he's referring to Nick Nurse's shoulder rub or something like that. That's just, why are you going to get angry about that? Why are you going to bring that up? Drake is literally a part of the Raptors organization. He's a global ambassador. I'm not sure if he's a minority owner, but he built the practice facility. The practice jerseys have his OVO owl on it. Drake is a part of the team. He has his own locker in the locker room. Yes, it's kind of weird for a fan, so to speak, to be rubbing the coach's shoulders, but Nick Nurse wasn't shook. He wasn't, Drake wasn't out there being a sixth defender for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not like Drake changed the game at all, except for hyping up the fans that were going to be hyped up regardless. So it just comes across as really salty. Mike Budenholzer making these comments in the post-game presser. Then apparently Giannis's ex-agent, he's saying Drake shouldn't be allowed to celebrate for his team or something, because he used the analogy that if a NBA player went to a Drake show and they were in the front row and they were kind of making fun of the singer, then it would just take away from the whole experience or something like that. That was the basis of his argument. He said that he knows he's drawing attention away, he's bringing negative energy toward the other team, but there's a big difference between a concert and two teams playing against each other and you're rooting for the other team. It's not like Drake is out there getting on the court, getting in people's faces, spewing profanity at anyone or completely making fun. Drake is just there having a good time. It's dumb for people to make arguments that fans aren't allowed to celebrate, and whether you're famous or not, whether you're gonna be on camera or not, you should be able to celebrate for your team. Drake is a Raptors fan, number one, despite the fact he does root for he has friends across the NBA, so he's going to root for other teams when he's in different stadiums, but he's come out and said his hometowns is number one, and then he likes whoever's winning. I think that was a quote he came out with a couple years ago, and you can respect that, you might not respect that. I'm not telling you to respect Drake's bandwagonness, even though he does rep the Raptors 24/7, but yeah, I'm not, this isn't me arguing for Drake, but I'm arguing that it's dumb for people to go at him for his fandom in a basketball game. That's just stupid. They're acting like Drake is somehow the reason that the Bucks got clamped. Drake is the reason that none of their shooters could hit any shots, and Giannis was locked down. They lost a 18-point game in Game 4. It's silliness, and there's a couple memes. I creeped through the Bucks Reddit this morning, as you always do when you're in a playoff series. You always got to creep the other team, and they're out here. I'll post a couple to the screen now, and they're out there flaming Drake. The Bucks fans are salty. The fact that Drake is in the heads of all these Milwaukee people, he owns Wisconsin right now. Kawhi owns Wisconsin. The Raptors own Wisconsin. Drake owns Milwaukee. It's great to see. It's all fun. It's the kind of stuff that makes sports fun. When you have fans going wild, when you have your teams going back and forth, nothing vulgar or bad or anything being said, just all in good fun, all in good sports. So I'm happy all this is happening. I'm kind of confused as to why the Bucks are super salty about Drake, but that's really a win for Drake. The fact that he's on the sideline, he's literally in the heads of the Milwaukee Bucks and their fans. So Raptors are winning on and off the court right now, at least in the past 2 games. So hopefully they can keep it up. We got a wild Game 5 coming up tomorrow night. So hopefully the Raptors will be able to pull it out. As I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a different podcast. Just wanted to drop cool story that happened for the channel today. If you want more kind of stories or something like that, let me know in the comment section below. You're the best for making this far. Check out the Twitter, and as I mentioned, the Instagram. If you want to see some Drake posts on the Instagram. Yeah, so follow us on there. It's all a good meme. So yeah, follow Ben Rogers 1 if you want some good posts on there too. Follow my personal Instagram. Follow Riker.rich Instagram. I'm plugging everything on this podcast. It's just good times. Good times to be a Raptors fan. Anyways, I'm signing off. Cheers.